Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to a new video. So, I've been meaning to make this video for a little bit now. I've had the car for about a month or so. I've done a few videos on the M3, nothing crazy yet. But one of the videos I really wanted to do was kind of give a full walk around of the M3. Go over all the options, all the details of this car, just showing you kind of where we're starting from. And go from there. And the reason why I want to do that is because I want to show you this car exactly how I bought it, exactly the way that I wanted it, and it may help some other people out looking for a specific car like this, and also going over the options that I personally wanted in my F80 M3. Also, after we go over all the details, I want to go over my modification overview. I'm going to go over the entire car, the things that I plan on doing, the things that I've already purchased, which is a lot, and also kind of give you a little bit of a vision, give you some idea as to where I plan on going with this car and why I'm going with those specific things. Now, as I just mentioned, I did purchase pretty much every single thing I want to do to this car in one shot. So we're going to get going on this car very soon, but I just want to give you an overview, give you the vision, give you guys a little bit of an idea as to what direction I'm heading, and give you a little bit of idea of what videos to expect with this car. Now, yes, I do plan on doing a full video explaining as to why I chose an F80 M3 over all of the other cars out there. Also, all of the other cars that I had discussed that I was interested in. There's a big reason as to why I decided on this one. And I will be going into full detail, going over everything as to why this car just suited me the best at this point in time of my life. So we're going to be doing a separate video on that. I know a lot of people have been asking me, what do I think of this car over the STI and why I chose this car and everything. So I'm going to be doing a complete separate video on that. So hang tight for that. All right, so let's start getting into this car. This is a 2018 F80 M3. So they actually made 4 different variants of this chassis of this car. One of which we didn't get in the States, but I'll go over them real quick so you guys can get somewhat of an idea. This is an F80 M3, which is the sedan, the 4 doors. They made an F81, which is a touring, which is 4 doors, but it's a wagon. Love those things, but we did not get them in the US. Then they made the F82 M4, which is the coupe. Don't know why they switched over to an M4. The M3 originally was made as a 2-door. I really can't stand how they did that, but that's what it is. F82 is the M4, and they also made an F83 M4, which is the convertible. Not as popular, but it is an option that was available when you were able to purchase these cars new. So this ran from 2015 all the way up to 2020. However, the F80, the sedan, the M3, ran from 2015 to 2018. So this is the last year of the F80 M3 generation, and that is why I wanted it. I wanted the last version of it, kind of the best version of it. They do have a CS version of this. However, it only comes in DCT, which was a big deal breaker for me. However, I would have gotten a CS if they offered it in manual. Now, I'm not really a big numbered person, but in terms of power, this car has 444 horsepower, which is exclusive to the competition package. And also, I think it's around like 406 in terms of torque. It is very fast. It is a lot of fun. I think the 0 to 60 is low 4s, high 3s, depending on the driver, and obviously the transmission. But definitely a lot of power for the street, plenty for the street, to be completely honest. The motor that you get with the F80 M3 is the S55 motor, which is an inline 6, twin turboed, which is really cool. This is the first car, the first M3 that they ever put forced induction in. Previous generations were all NA, so this was kind of the birth of the forced induction M car. Now, I bought this car used. Obviously, you cannot purchase them new anymore, but I bought it with 18,788 miles. This car is immaculate. Pretty much it's exactly how it is if you were to buy it brand new. The only great things that this one had was already PPF done to the car, the entire front clip, which is really nice. They also had it on the rear bumper as well. The B-pillars, side skirts, and everything, the entire front clip is done, including the headlights, mirrors. A lot of things were done, so it is really nice to have that option. But otherwise, completely stock. They did come with the M Performance splitters down here, and they also have some aftermarket things in the back. The spoiler right here, as well as the diffuser, those are being replaced. The quality on these is not very good. You can kind of see some weird indentations. Yeah, you can kind of see it like right there. Not a big fan of it. They are very cheap. They're coming off. I got some really nice ones coming in, both of these pieces as well as others, but those were included on the car when I purchased it. But what I personally was looking for was not only a 2018, but a few other options. One deal breaker for me that I had to have was a carbon roof. You were able to option this car with a sunroof. I wanted the carbon roof. This is also PPF'd as well, so it's gonna stay nice and perfect over the years, ceramic coated as well. And you can kind of see the line right there, kind of coming up right there a little bit, but I'd much rather it stay nice and perfect over the years. If you look on the previous generation of this car, which is the E9X, E90, E92, E93, the carbon roofs now are getting very yellow. They're getting faded, they're cracking, because people just weren't taking care of them. They weren't doing PPF. And I don't want that to happen with this one. So having this PPF from the start, already ceramic coated, is a big plus in my book. Another reason as to why I wanted a 2018 is because of the LCI. LCI is the kind of refresh they do in the generation. You got nicer taillights, you got a few things updated on the interior, and it's just overall a nicer version of this car. Another option that I had to have was the competition package, something that was a deal breaker if it didn't. I was not even considering anything other than a competition. Again, I wanted the best of the best, the last generation, the last year of this car. Competition, you get some really nice wheels. I absolutely love the competition wheels. This car lowered with these wheels spaced out looks phenomenal. Yes, I will be replacing the wheels at some point, but for now, I'm gonna rock these. It looks very, very good. I promise you, you guys are gonna love it. These are absolutely mint, although they are 20s, which I'm not a big fan of. I will be stepping down to a smaller size when I do change to aftermarket wheels, but for now, the 20s are just fine and they're gonna look really good. Now, another option that I had to have on this car was the transmission. There was absolutely zero want for the DCT. Yes, the DCT transmission is fantastic. It works very well. It is a lot of fun, but nothing replaces a true manual car. And I gotta say, in this car, the F80 M3, the transmission, the manual transmission, is really nice. It is super notchy. It feels really, really good, as opposed to previous generations where BMW manuals felt like a wet noodle. This does not. I'm very, very happy with it. I do wish the throw was a little bit shorter, but we can accomplish that with some aftermarket parts in the future. But for now, I am very, very happy with it, especially coming from the STI with the fantastic transmission. Super notchy. I love the feel of that. And I'm happy to report that I absolutely love it, and it is a good manual transmission. Now, as for the color, this color is called Mineral Gray Metallic, which honestly I think is very, very underrated. It is absolutely beautiful in person, in sun. There is so much depth, so much metallic. It is beautiful. Yes, it is just a gray car to some people, but when you really start looking at this thing under the sunlight, it really, really shines, and it really shows you just how beautiful this color is. Every single time when I went onto the BMW website and I configured my F80 M3 when they were available, I always chose mineral gray metallic. It's just, for whatever reason, I've always wanted a gray M3. And the E46, I owned an 04 E46 M3. One of my favorite colors on that car was the silver gray. Then they went over to, I believe, space gray in the E90X series, or E90X generation, I should say. And I always loved that. And now that I had a chance to get mineral gray in the F80, it was kind of a no-brainer. There are some colors that I really, really do like on this chassis as well. I was looking at mineral white or alpine white as well. I really, really like this chassis with the Imola red, which was through the individual program, although very, very hard to find because not many people chose it. It is an absolute beautiful color, and when this thing is properly cared for, which this car is, it's just an amazing color. Interior is the full black leather. Personally, my favorite combo was the mineral gray metallic with the secure orange interior, which is like a red interior. It looks beautiful with that combo. I'm always a big fan of kind of subtle exterior with really vibrant, bright interiors. However, the gray and red combo was very, very hard to find, let alone with everything that I wanted. With low miles and everything, the interior is something that I can change in the future if I really want to, but the black is absolutely beautiful and it's in fantastic shape. So it was kind of a no-brainer. The interior wasn't a deal breaker for me, and the black looks super, super nice. Even if you look in the rear, it literally has never been sat in. It is absolutely brand new and mint. Also, it would be much easier to get some aftermarket seats in here or the BMW M Performance seats without having to go crazy with the color and everything. But the black is absolutely beautiful, and I have no regrets about it. Now, as for the packages or the options that this car have, obviously it has the competition, which was like a $4,500 option or so. That was a must. But as for other options, one thing I really wanted was the executive package. The executive package gave you quite a few things. This was a must for me. These are called the Icon headlights. These are obviously LED. The other base version were LED, but these are just much nicer. These are self-leveling. Plus the daytime running light in the Icon headlights are just way nicer and way cooler. And these were just an absolute must for me. And these were included on the executive package. Now, a couple other things that the executive package came with is a heated steering wheel. Now, if you look on the side column right here, there is the little heat switch for the actual steering wheel. Not a must for me. I am changing this out to an Alcantara one, but it's something that was included and is a nice option to have if this was your daily driver. Fortunately for me, this is not my daily driver, so I don't have to drive this year round, so I'm not too concerned with it, but it is an option that came with the executive package, and it is nice to have if this was your daily and you were driving it year round. Now, another really cool option that you guys get with the executive package is it is blinking on camera, but not in person. That's just because of the frequencies. The cameras cannot capture it, but you get the heads-up display, which is really cool. So you got your RPM right here. You got your miles per hour, and it's really nice also when you're using the BMW navigation. It shows the directions up here as well, so you never have to take your eyes off the road. And it is a really cool feature. I've never had heads-up display before, but now that I have it, it's kind of hard not to have in future cars. I've gotten accustomed to it, to just look right there instead of looking all the way down there and kind of seeing all the information there. Everything that you need is right up front in your vision. Another option that the F80 M3 executive package offered was extended leather. What that means is you get a few extra tidbits of leather in the car to make it a little bit nicer. You get it over here. You also get it on the handles of the door card. There is a full leather option as well, where the entire dash is leather, and you get a few other bits as well. But you know, that wasn't a deal breaker for me. And honestly, I don't know if I would have checked it, but it did come with the executive package, so it's nice to have this little piece right here and on the door handles as well to make it a little bit nicer. And I believe the door cards right here, you get a nice kind of stitched leather piece right here, which is a nice touch as well. So it's a little tidbits to make it a little bit nicer on the interior. So you do get a few extra little things with the executive package, but that is the gist of it. The main things that are included with that package, really nice. The heads-up display, although you can't really see it right now, but there you can see it right there, is really nice. I enjoy it, and the extended leather is cool as well. But one really cool option that this car did come with is the driver assistance package. So I have all the cameras that I can possibly want. So if I press the button here, I got side cameras on the mirrors. Also, when I am in reverse, obviously I have a rear camera, but I can also press the little camera icon right here, and I have a 360 kind of camera view. Although it doesn't show the front, I wish it did, but you get the sides and the rear, so it is really nice when you are parking. So you can see exactly going into the spot or wherever you're going. You can see pretty much all around the car, which is really cool. I've never had that before. It is nice to have. I've used it before, and it has helped tremendously. So now that we went over all the details pretty much of the entire car, let's go ahead and start talking about modifications. Now, I'm not going to name specifics just because the list is incredibly long, but I will give you an overview of what I'm actually doing and what to expect in the very near future. Keep in mind, all of this stuff I'm about to name has already been ordered. It's already en route. Some stuff I've already gotten. So there will be videos of me installing stuff, reviews, kind of the normal thing that you guys are used to. So let's start getting into modifications. So let's start here in the engine bay since I already have the hood up. This engine bay is absolutely beautiful. This is stock. This is the carbon strut brace, which is beautiful, and specifically to the F80 chassis, or the F80X chassis, I should say. Serves a purpose and it looks great, but we are going to make this even prettier and sound even better. We're going to be doing an intake, engine cover. I'm doing all nice new caps. I'm also going to be doing some hardware as well. As you guys know, I'm a big fan of titanium. We're going to be doing charge pipes. We're going to be doing a lot of stuff in here that's going to make it look even nicer than it already is. Kind of tie a lot of the carbon bits in, as well as doing a little bit of an accent. So it's going to be really nice. I'm going to be upgrading this, which is the charge cooler. It works well for now, but as you can tell, they're plastic ends. It is not necessarily known to break, but it can. So I'm going to reinforce it with a much stronger and nicer looking charge cooler at some point. Also, once we actually go for more power and I get this thing tuned and do all that, I will be upgrading the crank hub, which is the known Achilles heel for this car. We can go over in detail about all that, but that is going to be upgraded at some point. I'm also going to be doing the oil thermostat by Muscle Man. I will say that because that is a great thing to do. Very cheap to do. It's only a couple $100, and it is much better. It keeps your oil temps much cooler and everything, so that is something I will be doing as well. For suspension, yes, we are going to be lowering this thing. I cannot take the height of this. The front is 4x4ing to me, but we are going to be lowering on a sleeve over kit, so I will keep the EDC for now. In the future, we will bump up to some proper coilovers to get this thing handling amazingly, but as for now, I wanted to go with a nice sleeve over kit, which basically goes over the stock suspension. You can adjust up or down. It's basically like a coilover setup, but you keep your factory EDC, kind of keeps everything in unison and kind of factory in a way, but you're able to adjust the height. For wheels, as I mentioned earlier, I'm going to be keeping these wheels for the time being. 100% going to be upgrading, but I love these wheels. I will be doing spacers to kind of push it out quite a bit to make this look way more aggressive. If you've ever seen these cars spaced out with these wheels, it looks incredible. Yes, 20s are a little too big for my taste. You know, there's not much tire, especially on the front. It is very thin, but they do look very good. And I'm really excited to get those spacers on and the car lowered so you can see just how great this car looks. Now, as for exhaust, the S55 we all know is not the best sounding M car. But I'm here to prove to you that I can make it work. I can make it sound amazing. A lot of people kind of turn away from these cars because of the sound, but there are some great solutions out there to resolve that. We are going to be upgrading the exhaust right away and get this thing sounding great. There's a lot of different options out there, but I will show you the many versions, the many ways to go about doing that, and we're going to get this thing sounding incredible. Now, as for exterior, the M3, the F80 M3, I think is honestly one of, if not the best looking M car, the best looking performance sedan out there to date. This car looks absolutely menacing and it looks so good every single angle. Obviously, that's just my opinion, but I do think a lot of people agree with that. I think these cars look phenomenal. So there's really not much to do on the exterior. However, there's some things to address. Orange reflectors, those are getting paint matched, so you're not going to even see them. On the rear as well, they have, for the US version, they have the kind of red reflectors, which I absolutely hate. I'm going to be getting some nice inserts for those, so it's going to look much cooler, much nicer. It's not going to be as noticeable. Now, as for aero, I guess if you want to call it, I'm getting a new trunk lip, new diffuser. I'm getting carbon mirror caps, so we're going to get rid of the painted ones. They look nice, but prefer carbon. I'm also getting a nice front lip. Now, as for lighting and headlights, not much to change about these because these things are absolutely perfect, but I will be changing out the daytime running light color from white to yellow. Some very small details I'm about to name, but they make a big difference. The hood roundel and the trunk roundel, as you can see, there is a silver ring around here. I'm getting the ones from IND, which is actually painted a nice gloss black, so there's no chrome around there. And also on the wheels as well, you can see the chrome ring around the BMW logo. I got the ones, the self-centering ones, so they always stay in the upright position like this. They're weighted like the Rolls Royces, and they also have the black ring around it. As for the hood, I absolutely love this hood. I think the power dome is what they call it. It's a shame that they didn't do it on the new generation M3, the G80X chassis. It's just a pretty much flat hood with those nostrils, which we all know we're not a big fan of. But the power dome here does look very good, although I am a huge fan of the CS style hood with the venting that goes down. It just looks phenomenal. So I will be doing a CS hood at some point. They are very expensive. The OEM one, it's completely carbon on the underside. It's absolutely beautiful. They're about like 9 or 10 grand. So that is definitely something in the future, but I do plan on doing it. Although this stock hood looks great, we're definitely going to be upgrading at some point to the CS style hood. As for the interior, already beautiful, but we're going to be upgrading all the leather with some M Performance Alcantara stuff. So the steering wheel, the e-brake boot, shift knob, the armrest there. We're also going to be doing some nice carbon as well, especially right here. Get rid of that silver. And that is pretty much it. I also added full screen CarPlay to this car because it didn't come with it. It was a $300 option to check off, and for whatever reason they didn't do that when they optioned this car out. But if you want to check the video in the top right corner, you can see how I did that. It was super cheap, and I have full screen CarPlay along with some other options. We're also going to be doing the floor mats at some point. I'm going to do the nice M3 logo ones that's right here. Nothing fancy. I don't like aftermarket kind of all-weather ones, especially in the fun car, since this won't see any rain. These are nice. These are stock ones, but I will be getting the nice M3 ones. Also, the pedals, I'll most likely be doing the M Performance ones. This is a nice dead pedal, but these are a little ugly, so we're going to be upgrading that at some point as well. Radar, you guys saw me actually install that. That is a Unit N R7 with the mirror tap and radar mount to the mirror. Beautiful setup, love it. Unit N R7 is fantastic. I've ran that in many cars, and I still continue to do that. I have a full video on that as well. So that is pretty much the gist of it. There are quite a few other things, little things here and there that I will be upgrading that I have ordered as well, but I'm just kind of giving a quick overview of what we're going to be addressing right away. I do recommend driving your car stock as possible for as long as possible. Driving a car stock will really let you appreciate the aftermarket options, and it also lets you appreciate the car in its completely stock form. You know, I've realized this car has plenty of power. Will I be going for 700-800 horsepower? Absolutely not. But I highly recommend driving your car completely stock just to get a feel for the car, to understand what it's all about. Some people just buy cars and start modifying every single little thing without even knowing what the car is all about. And I don't recommend doing that because you can really make some mistakes, make the car drive, sound, feel worse than it is completely stock. So here is the build sheet of the M3. I figured I would show you this so you guys get an idea. MSRP was $66.5. The options that were added, we already went over, but I'll show you the actual prices. Mineral gray metallic was $550. The extended leather was a $950 option. Competition package was $4750. I think I said $4500. Executive package $4100, which includes the parking distance controls. It also has active blind spot detection, shipping charges and all that, and it came to $78,345 plus tax and all the fees and all that. So you're probably looking at around $85K for the car. Now I know a lot of you are going to be curious how much I paid. I actually paid $65,995 for the car. So relatively, it held value very well. Yes, this market is crazy, but for the miles and the condition of the car, it only had 18,000 miles when I purchased it. To me, I felt like it was a good deal, and these cars overall hold value very well, especially with BMW or M-Car just announcing that the current G80X is the last M3 that is going to have a manual transmission. They're also doing away with the DCT type of transmissions as well. So in my opinion, $65K for the best looking M3 that has ever been made, in my opinion, it being manual, it having some really nice options, and the miles, I believe it was 100% worth it and a very good price. So that is going to do it. I know this was wordy. I know this was long. I just wanted to update you guys on the kind of overall details of this car, as well as the modifications that I plan on doing, that I am doing right now. As I mentioned, all this stuff that I mentioned was already ordered. It was a hefty bill, but it is going to be amazing. And I'm really looking forward to kind of getting this car to my first phase, get it to where I want it, and just keep improving it over the years. So that's going to wrap it up. If you guys have any questions about the car or any of the modifications I kind of went over in this video, please let me know in the comments below. But in the meantime, keep it clean, keep it simple, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.